Hey everybody, good morning. It is Michael from Steelyard here with, it says Ashley Grigg on the screen, but this is not Ashley. This is Tammy Nagem from High Point Market Authority, who I am absolutely thrilled to talk to today. How are you, Tammy?
I'm good, Michael. I'm glad to be with you today.
Good. Well, it's each of these conversations have been different, right? We've been talking to a lot of people from around the country and around the world, right? So the first thing I want to do is check in with you on how you are, how North Carolina is, and how your team is. I want to check on all you all first.
Thanks, Michael. And we appreciate that touch base. North Carolina is in the thick of it, like we all are. I think we're doing a good job. I think as much as can be expected to do what we're supposed to do and stay home and social distance. But it's tough, and it's tough because most of us know someone who has had the virus or has impacted somehow. So it's real life, even though it's kind of this big bad thing you watch in the news. Our team is doing great. We have all learned to work from home. For some of us, that has been more of a struggle than others. I'm at the top of that list. I have found I am not good at working from home. I am figuring it out. Thank goodness the weather has been good. But I'm anxious to get back to the team and back into the office. I've tried to do check-ins. I do a weekly email where I, just sort of talk about what's going on and and everybody's replying back. We've continued, like most folks, to do weekly staff meetings via Zoom, so we all see each other. But I think we're making it. But I think we're all really anxious just to get back to life as normal.
How is Tom? Is he okay? I mean, he's such a social person. I mean, is he okay being with y'all?
He is. I think he's probably the two of us are struggling the most at not being in the office, just because we both have a management style that is to walk around and sit down in folks' offices and ask how you're doing rather than try to, peel that out of an email. So I think he's doing good, but I think he's struggling too.
I bet. So speaking of places that we are or are not, for the last 18 years, every April and October, you were in one place. You were
Yeah.
Point Market. So you are not there today. I mean, your background is beautiful. I love your back porch. I love your flowers there. They're
Thank
cool.
you.
But that's not the Point Market. So
No.
what's that like for you after 18 years this week not being at market?
Michael, it's tough to work year round for 2 months of the year. So every time I write a check, which is not often lately, I put April or October. My life revolves around April and October. My family, my friends, everyone knows, as with most of us, that those months are off limits because I have somewhere to be and something to do. What has been, I think, the hardest part is not seeing the market family. And I think we become that twice a year. Everyone from, the guys who pick up the garbage on the streets that I live and die by,
Sure.
to the designers who come and who we see twice a year, our retailers, our exhibitors, all those folks that really make market great. So we all kind of come together, although everybody has their own piece of the puzzle. We're all there together. That's the one thing we have in common. And that has been incredibly hard. I have heard from a lot of those people via text or via email, just checking in to see how things are going, but it's not the same. I want to be standing on Commerce Avenue, doing what we do best. And so that part has been a challenge, but we understand, and we couldn't be together now. So all we have to do is look forward and see what that means for October.
That's right. And relationships are so meaningful in this industry. And I'm sure there's been a lot of support for you. What do you take us through, Tammy, just from your perspective? What was that decision like? I'm sure it felt very lonely to make that decision, but from your perspective, what was that decision like for you?
Um, that decision was incredibly hard, I think, because we never thought we'd have to make it. You
Right.
know, it's not one of those things I've ever considered. It's funny, I do lots of presentations, as you can imagine, around our local community about market. And one of my slides, and I do this little quiz, this little true false quiz, and it is, has there ever not been a high point market in April and October? And
Mm.
so to this point, the answer to that quiz was only during World War II, when IHFC was taken over by the Army for their personnel records.
Wow.
So the thought had never occurred to me, I guess, that we would not have. And so the point at which the conversations turned to postponement and then to cancellation, I think I said to someone, I think I've gone through all of the 5 stages of grief in
Yeah.
about 2 days,
Yeah.
because that's, I definitely felt that. And I think just uh, kind of coming to grips with, this is going to need to happen and this is unprecedented, was tough. I will say that our executive committee and our board, um, there was a lot of conversation and a lot of work that went into those decisions. But I think ultimately, you know, we did what we had to do.
I think that's right. It's unprecedented. You did what you had to do. But who's lifted you up through this? You talk about the designer family, you talk about our industry family. Who's lifted you up the most through this?
Absolutely. I think just hearing from folks, and one of the things that our social media team has put together has been the HPMKT memories of everyone this week posting on social media and kind of going through those. I sent an email to the team yesterday and said, you know, what really has helped through this is I would say a lot of folks who've posted those have talked about that this is the first market they've missed in, you know, 50 years, or was my 82nd market, or these crazy numbers. And I think just really realizing that market is a part of our DNA and is a part of what we do in this industry, and people want us to do what we do, and they rely on High Point for their business in April and October. So those kinds of things have helped, along with you know, just the personal outreaches have been great. Just hearing from people that I would be seeing on Commerce Avenue, who are now just asking, how are you doing? And that "you" is in caps, and I know what that means.
That's great. That's great. And we are so thankful that we get the chance to still connect with you, right? And these Zoom chats are great to connect with so many people. I can tell you from around the world, people cannot wait for October. This is that chance to get together with everybody. And I've talked to, Greg Natali in Australia. I talked to Bauer Clifton up in Alaska. I talked to Libby Lagden up in New York. You know, I've talked to people all over the country and all over the world that we would have seen this week. And the thread that has been pulled through, there's 2 threads. One, this industry has a fortitude like few others. People are pushing on. People are figuring it out. Doing great things too, right? From mask making to supporting their employees, which has been amazing to hear about and watch. But 2, the thread is that they cannot wait for October. And we are so looking forward to being together again. I told you personally, I can't imagine the decision-making process and the grief that you went through with that. We're thankful y'all made the right decision for all of us. And you know that we've all got your back in this industry, and we cannot wait to be together. We are going to party. What's it like? Party like it's 1999. Was that the song? I'm getting old.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Party like it's 99 or whatever the song is. So tell us one more question. What's the thing, you know, if you can pin it down to one thing, what are you most missing this week? Besides seeing people and everything else, what are you most missing? Is there a showroom? Is there a bite to eat you have somewhere? Is there a song that you hear at market all the time? Something.
I need some Parsons Table chicken salad on sourdough bread.
I'm
Of
so
course, for me, I'm a foodie. It's going to be the food. And it's those folks who prepare that. Like, I need Bitsy Wall to hand me that sandwich. Like, it's the people, it's the smells, it's the sights, it's the energy.
yes,
I think that we work for. It's a high. I mean, how else can I work 18-hour days, for 2 weeks straight and feel fine? I mean, any other day, if I did yard work yesterday for 2 hours, I was exhausted. It's the energy. It is the people. It's our community. That's
yes,
the other piece of this, is that our community, meaning High Point, um, they're suffering not having market folks there to eat in the restaurants and to stay in the hotels and to rent the private homes. But also, this is their family. They look forward to seeing those people twice a year. Many of them are involved somehow in the show. So it's going to in my mask to the grocery store and passing three people who really don't have a lot to do with market, but are still missing it because it means the energy means something to us. So, while it is the people and it is the showrooms, my husband will be thrilled that I don't, because I come home after this thing and say, I live in junk. Like, I don't care how good it is. It can't look like a showroom. I am not a designer, and that hits me twice a year like no other. So the bank account might be a little better because of that, because I'm always trying to recreate that. But I think that it's all of that wrapped into one that really makes High Point special. And I will say, we will be so glad to see everyone in October. We are also busy looking at what that means, of building a market that everyone will feel comfortable and will want to attend, and that we've thought through things on behalf of the 75,000 people who come to High Point. We started that even before the decision had really been made for June, and just making sure that we're doing all we can so that we have a top-notch business event for everyone to come back and visit us again.
absolutely. That's awesome. We love hearing that. So we are so glad to just support you a little bit with High Point at Home, and putting these Zoom chats out there for folks and allowing the showrooms and the brands to kind of give a little taste of what they would have had at market. So thanks for being with me today. This was a little calmer than our chat in the Airstream in October. If you remember, it was a deluge of rain just
Pouring down rain.
down on us. And then
Yes.
after 6 or 7 days of that Airstream with people coming in and out, right after you and I walked out, I believe it crashed off of its
Yes. It
position.
slid
So
off the footings.
I
I know.
could move my computer a little bit and
Yeah,
make it look like that. But this was a much calmer conversation. So
this
thank you.
was. This was.
But Tammy Nagem from High Point Market Authority, we're so thrilled that you joined us today. And we're thankful for the thought you put into everything with market that makes it such a great experience for us. We will be together in short order. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Michael. And thanks to the High Point Market community. We can't wait to see you in October.
Awesome. Thank you.